Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. The canto title is The Status Quo, and the Chapter 12 is Creation of the Kumaras and Others. Maitreya Uvacha Iti te varnitah khyatah Kalakhya Paramatmanah Mahima Beta Garbha Athaha Yatha Asakrit Nirbodhame. Maitreya Uvacha Iti te varnitah khyatah Kalakhya Paramatmanah Mahima Beta Garbha Athaha Yatha Asakrit Nirbodhame. Word by word translation and meaning. Synonyms. Maitreya Uvacha, Sri Maitreya said, Iti, thus, te, unto you, Varnitaha, described, Khyataha, O Vidura, Kala Akshayaha, by the name Eternal Time, Paramatmanaha, of the Super Soul, Mahima, glories, Veda Garva, Lord Brahma, the reservoir of the Veda, Atha, hereafter, Yatha, as it is, Asrakhit, did create, Nibodha, just try to understand me from me. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Sri Maitreya said, O learned Vedura, so far I have explained to you the glories of the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature of Kala. Now you can hear from me about the creation of Brahma, the reservoir of all Vedic knowledge. The next verse. Sasraja agre anda tamisham atha tamisham adikrit mahamoham cha moham cha tamasya cha agyam vratayah. Sasraja agre andra tamisham atha tamisham adikrit mahamoham cha moham cha tamasya agyam vratayah. Word by word meaning. Sasraja, created. Agre, at first. Andha tamishram, the sense of death. Atha, then. Tamishram, anger upon frustration. Adikrit, all this. Mahamoham, ownership of enjoyable objects. Cha, also. Moham, illusory conception. Cha, also. Tamaha, darkness in self-knowledge. Cha, as well as. Agyana, nescience. Vratayah, engagements. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Brahma first created the nascent engagements like self-deception, cause of death, anger and frustration, the sense of false ownership, and the illusory bodily conception of forgetfulness of one's real identity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Before the factual creation of the living entities in different varieties of species, the conditions under which a living being in the material world has to live were created by Brahma. Unless a living entity forgets his real identity, it is impossible for him to live in these material conditions of life. Therefore, the first condition of material existence is forgetfulness of one's real identity. And by forgetting is deathless, and identification with material nature is the cause of false ownership of things which are offered. By the arrangement of superior control, all material resources are offered to the living entity for his peaceful living and for the discharge of the duties of self-realization in conditioned life. But due to false identification, the conditioned soul becomes entrapped by the sense of false ownership of the property of the Supreme Lord. It is evident from this verse that Brahma himself is a creation of the Supreme Lord. and the 5 kinds of nescience which condition the living entities in material existence are creations of Brahma. It is simply ludicrous to think the living entity to be equal with the Supreme Being when one can understand that the conditioned souls are under the influence of Brahma's magic wand. Patanjali also asserts that there are 5 kinds of nescience as mentioned herein. Miranda मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today for this Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are discussing about on the topic of chapter 12, the creation of the Kumaras and the other aspects by Brahma. The subject matter is very beautiful, and Prabhupada also in the purport he has explained it so beautifully. How the individual conditioned soul, how thinks that he is the self-proprietor and he is the owner of everything and he is the lord of everything. Very nicely Prabhupada has explained, and all the different kinds of science and everything. This beautiful subject matter is very interesting also. It gives us a clear view of why we are here and what we are doing and what is the condition setting for us. It's kind of by Brahma. So my knowledge in this subject matter is very limited. I'm doing this for my own purification. So I need all of your blessings and guidance so that I can little bit describe about this beautiful subject matter. So if we see here, all here that Prabhupada is saying in the purport here that the first condition of material existence is the forgetfulness of one's own real identity. So because of when we forget our own real identity, that who am I, where am I coming from, and why I came here, and what is my relationship, and what I did, and from where I did that I have come here. So that's why, since we are forgetting everything, we are here. So since we don't know this, we are here, and we are always afraid of the death here. So in this conditioned life, we are so much entrapped by the Maya, by the illusory potency, that we acquire a sense of false ownership. So generally we see that those who are Suddha Bhakta, they cannot survive in this material world. They think that it is very difficult to stay here. There are these anarthas, that anarthas. Why they are thinking and why they are not able to stay in this material world? Why it is difficult for them? Because they have understood the real lessons behind it. Why they have come here? They have understood that their eternal relationship with Krishna is they are the eternal servant of Krishna, and Krishna is the master. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and they have to assist in Krishna's all the devotional service. So they have understood it. So that's why it is very difficult for them to stay here. But in other case, we all conditioned souls, we try to temporarily enjoy here and stay here. Now let's go deep into this discussion of the verse. Now, in the beginning of the creation, before creating all the conditioned souls, or before creating the different kind of species of the life of the 84 million species are there, before creating them and before give everybody all the jivatma a different body. So what Brahma did, that Brahma basically he created 5 features of the ignorance. So basically the creation is Brahma has done basically to house these conditioned souls who have refused to become subordinate to Krishna. the constitution position of every living being is to serve Krishna. Jibira Swarupa hoy Krishna Nitya Das. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, always Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives stress, emphasis on this particular line that Jibira Swarupa hoy Krishna Nitya Das. We all are eternal servant of Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. But in this material world, when we are here, the conditioned souls become rebellious of the Krishna. In the adverse situation, what they do? They think that the subordinate relationship with Krishna is very challenging and very difficult. In reality, if we see, if there is a garden, we are plucking a flower and we think that, yeah, this is, I got this flower and everything. But same time, we must think that we didn't do anything. Krishna is the he is the seed giving father. He is the main. He is the main father of everybody. Without Krishna, nothing is possible. But temporarily, we think that I did this, because of me this happened. We get entrapped with that I factor. So to keep all these living beings here, so Brahma creates an illusion conception. So and to assist in that, he created 5 Abhidhyas. And Brahma finally, what he does? He creates a forgetful atmosphere where the conditioned jiva thinks, I am the Lord. So what are the 5 different features of ignorance Brahma created in the beginning? They are basically, Prabhupada here mentioned here, they are tamaha, moham, mahamoham, tamishram, and andhatamishram. Let's go by one. So first one is the tamaha. Tamaha basically is the ignorance, is the darkness. The ignorance, what is this ignorance? Ignorance of one's own identity. Basically, who am I? We don't know that. So when we don't know that, then there comes the next one. That is moham. Moham basically is the illusory conception. To consider that the body and the soul are the different. So what we do? We stay at the body level. So we forget that the real identity is a part and parcel of Krishna. So one has to accept another identity at the bodily platform. So to consider oneself to be the master, or I'm this body. That is basically the moham. That is the illusion. Then comes the mahamoham. Mahamoham basically is the greater illusion. So when we have the moham, right? So then you consider that you have the body. Then after identifying oneself the body, what the conditioned soul does, he develops a possessiveness towards the surrounding or towards the bodily possession. This bodily possessiveness is called mahamoham. Basically, you try to acquire sense gratification objects. Like Turkish, this kind of civilization, that kind of civilization. All this mahamoham then comes into account. Then comes tamishram, basically is the anger upon frustration. So why the anger upon frustration comes? Then when we have this ignorance, then the moham, then the mahamoham, right? Then because we try to become the proprietor and we try to enjoy things, we try to acquire things. Sometimes what happens, right? We try to capture things, then we try to have a sense of possessiveness and we try to challenge. There are certain things, we try to get it, we don't get it. We try to sometimes, somebody wants to have a very beautiful and very luxurious Mercedes car, he doesn't get it. So then the frustration starts. From the frustration, what happens? If you don't get it, the anger starts. So that is basically the tamishram part. The next one is the final one, that is the universal ignorance, that is the andhatamishram. That is the sense or the fear of the death. So we are at the past, initially we are at the bodily platform. Then we try to capture things. Then we have the frustration. Everything is fine. But we think that the body belongs to me. I am at the body level. But actually, if you see, the body doesn't belong to us. So the sense of death, so the sense of death sometimes, it tries to give some kind of fear within us. So at the end of the death, the soul separates from the body, but we are not able to accept it. So we try to do so many things to defy that, but death is the ultimate truth. But we have a fear, we have this bhayam that the death is going to come. So again, Prabhupada also here in the purport, he tells that in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra also the similar kind of things have been also mentioned. So in the Patanjali Sutra, the Patanjali Rishi, the original author of the yogic system, basically they have defined the 5 different kind of kleshas. What are the 5 different kind of kleshas? The first one is the Abhidhya. So Abhidhya basically is the ignorance. When we have this Abhidhya, basically ignorance is what is basically your, because you are the ignorant of the surrounding, you are ignorant of your own identity. So when you are ignorant, right, what happens? You consider the asatya to satya, the dukkha to sukha, you consider, and then whatever is temporary, you think that it is permanent. Like whatever is asaswat, we consider that this is a saswat kind of thing. So basically that is Abhidhya. So when, because of this Abhidhya, what happens? This temporary material enjoyment, we think that it is very it is giving us the permanent pleasure kind of thing. We think that it is giving us permanent pleasure. I was listening to one of the interview of our current Nepal, one of the brahmachari who is now president there. He was saying that when he was young, he was doing all kind of this things to make him happy. Basically, the devotee, the particular devotee, he was trying to do all kind of anarthas. Sometimes the persons, you know, they do smoke. They think that, yeah, I'm getting some kind of bliss. Then they go one more step. They take some intoxication, some wine. They think, yeah, this is, you know, this is really good for me, and I am happy for some time. Then they take some drugs. But finally, you know what happened? Everything is temporary. So when this temporary atmosphere, when they stay, they think that all this, whatever, you know, like whatever suffering they're going through, they think that is the real happiness for them. So that is basically the Abhidhya part. And then there is the Asmita part. This is the false identity, basically I-ness. This family is mine. This job is mine. Basically, whatever I do, the I factor is there. Me, mine, all these things come into picture. Then the next one is the Raga. Raga basically is the attachment for the worldly things. So there is a beautiful verse that Maya Shukam Bharam Udbhavata Bimudam. Basically, what is Prahlad Maharaj is saying that the sukha is basically temporary, and in order to acquire this temporary sukha, what we are doing, we are carrying heavy burden on our shoulders. And why we are doing it? Because we are the fools. That's why we are getting attached to these worldly things. Then the next one is the Dvesha. Dvesha basically is the repulsion. So repulsion, Dvesha basically is the opposite of the Raga. So one person, you know, he always wants to be happy. Nobody wants to be in sadness. So, but happiness and the sorrow, they come one by one. You will be happy, but immediately the next thing will be sadness. But nobody wants to be sad. So what they do, they try to work very, very hard so that the sadness won't come to them. But they don't realize when they're working so hard to make them happy, that particular work becomes a distress for them. So for sometimes to acquire more money so that we have a happy retirement life, the condition solved, what he does, he works really hard day and night, winter and brutal winter and hot summer, just to get lot of money so that he will enjoy at the time of death. But he doesn't realize by working that much, that hard, that time, the person is getting sick. He is getting bad health. He is not able to stay peacefully. He is not happy. So so finally this particular heavy work or burden of the work to get extra some kind of luxury become a distress for him. And finally, the last one is the avinivesha. That is the fear of the death. Sometimes, you know, we try to cling to the life, that we are not able to accept that death is coming. Death can come at any moment. So Srila Prabhupada once, he was sharing in a lecture that one of his friends is sharing, he was a kind of a businessman, he was a millionaire, he has a lot of factories. He's at the deathbed. His body parts are not functioning. His kids are also thinking that our dad should leave now. Otherwise, we have to do some more work. Nobody wants to care for him because he is at old age, and he is not going to give that kind of comfort to the kids. And the kids are already grown up. But the person is requesting to the doctor, please grant me 2 more years so that I can open 4 more factories for my kids. So we have that much attracted towards our life that like we have been taught that at the time of death we should do namasmaran, we should think about Krishna. In the Antakala, we should think about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that moment, They want to request the doctor to give them some lifespan, so that they will be opening 1 or 2 factories, so that the kids and the grandkids will enjoy. So, and when that doesn't happen, there is a fear. The fear of death is there. Now, next one is, let's see what is the true nature of the material happiness. So material happiness is basically, it is very temporary. That's why it is called chapala sukha or mayash, or flickering happiness. So there is a beautiful bhajan, Bhajahuri Mana Srinanda Nandana. There is a line over there that both day and night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain, for a fraction of flickering happiness. I have uselessly served weekend and miserly man. So basically, we you know, this for this temporary happiness, for this chapala sukha, what we do? We do so much work, as we discussed now, that we take so many pain, and so we associate with so many wicked people, so many miserly persons, just for what? For some amount of luxury. What is that luxury? That luxury is basically is very temporary. It's basically kshanasthai. How it is kshanasthai? Is basically, the next verse says, Kambana Darajara Jivana Talamala. This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Basically, if you might have seen, when there is a lotus petal in the water, you will see that the lotus petal is very dry, but little bit of come into it, you see that the will be not steady. It will be here, and any moment of time it is going to fall down. Basically, our life is just like that. Kambana Darajara Jivana Talamala. Basically, our life is just moving here and there. At any moment it can go. They say, let our life is a preparation and death is an exam, and it can come at any moment, and nobody knows the examination date. So let's go to the, see what is next here. So we saw that the material nature is temporary, but side by side, this material nature is also very, very powerful, because it is the illusory energy of Krishna. So we might have all heard about this nice story about, basically it's a kind of a moral story of how powerful the Maya could be. We all know that Lord Indra, I think due to some offenses, his Brihaspati gave him a curse, and he became a pig. When he became a pig, like Indra, he has a habit of becoming the king of the demigods. He has a kingdom. He used to manage that. So Indra, having that king spirit within him, when he became a king, when he took the body of the pig, he basically had a kingdom of the pig. He had so many piglets as the kids, and he had so many queens. And he is enjoying over there. He is thinking how to welfare them, how to build a colony for them, and how his wives are going to serve them, how his kids are going to serve them. He is basically enjoying in the kingdom, and enjoying in this hellish condition. He is still enjoying. Basically, that moment of time, he has totally he has forgotten that he is King Indra, and he is the god of the heaven, where he has so much luxuries, so many beautiful things. He had so many beautiful gardens. He has a thorn, and he was enjoying so many beautiful dancers were there. Whatever he wants, he used to get from him immediately. But now what he is doing, he is having so many queens, and so many from each queen of pig. I think he had so many piglets. So, and he is thinking that, wow, my sons are so wonderful, they're obedient to me, and my wives are so beautiful, and they're so nice, they're always thinking how to serve me. I'm the most happiest person in this world. Now, in the meanwhile, what happened, because Indra is not there, because the post is vacant, there are some little bit disturbances going on. So Narada, you see that he is very, very merciful, and he is very, very kind to everybody, and he thinks everybody's well-wisher. So he decided to take a look in the earthly planet what Indra is doing. So when he came to the earthly planet, he saw that Indra is happily enjoying with the piglets and his wives, and he is basically, he has become a king with the pig. He is hanging with the mud and taking care of the piglets, and he is very happy, in fact. So Indra has totally forgotten that he was the king. So Narada tried to remind him that, hey, you are the king, and now it is time, your course time is over, you come back. So, but Indra is saying he replied to him, no, I cannot come back now. I have to take care of these beautiful piglets. See, those my kids are so much dear to me. They are thinking about me all the time. If I tell them do this, do that, they are doing to me. And if I go, what will happen to them? Because I am going to take care of them. I am going to think good about my wife. Without me, they cannot do anything. All these things Indra tried to justify. So Narad Muni that time realized because of the power of Maya, Indra is behaving like this. Then, because of Narad's mercy, I finally, and Narad's mercy and Brahmaji's assistance, finally Indra could come back to his heavenly planet. So that is how the powerful Maya is. So this illusory material energy is very, very powerful. All of us. Now we saw about the Bhayam part. The next one is the Abhayam part. So we have heard that the fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as the material body. When the living entity basically he turns aside from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets that his constitutional position is the servant of the Lord. So that moment, basically he is affected by the potency of the Maya. So therefore, what does an intelligent person does? He always does unconditional devotional service, unconditional unalloyed devotional service to the Lord under the guidance of a spiritual master. He does in such a way so that he is never become Krishna Bimukhi. He's always, he's always, his face is towards Krishna. He's always serving Krishna like that. So this, so then what is the, so basically if we see that the intelligent person, what he is, he's basically he tries to counter the Bhayam part. So what is the counter of the Bhayam part? That is the Abhayam. That is the fearlessness. If we see in Bhagavad Gita chapter 16, all the transcendental qualities are described. In this, the Abhayam has given the highest priority. Even the sannyasis also has to acquire this Abhayam quality. So basically, what is this Abhayam quality and how to gain it? When we have a firm faith that Krishna and the Paramatma will take care of me when I surrender unto him, and I shall never be alone. And I should think that in the darkest region of a forest also, always Krishna will accompany me and he will always give me protection. That conviction is called Abhayam, basically without any fear. And how to get this Abhayam? Again, same in the bhajan, Govinda Das says, Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Bindare, Dullabha Manava Janma Satasanga Taraho Ebhava Sindhure. Basically, oh mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of the saintly persons. Now, when we are talking about the fearless, the best sannyasi or the best universal teacher who we can think about is our lion guru, who is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur earned the title of the lion guru for his fearless and powerful delivery of the Vaishnava Siddhanta. So in the bottom picture, if you see here, how his mother Bhagavati Devi, when he was a small little boy, she got him to see the car festival. Basically, the car festival was going on in Puri, and that times due to some disturbances, the cart was stuck in front of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur house. So taking this opportunity, his mother took him to see the Sri Jagannath on the chariot, so that her son will get some mercy. Now the pujar is very, very fond of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, so they took the son and put him in front of Lord Jagannath. So immediately a garland came, and that time it was predicted that he will be a wonderful person, and because he has the mercy of Lord Jagannath. Now Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, basically he crossed all the forests of the Mayabad like a lion. So he is called a lion guru. So the Mayabadis would be crossing the street just to avoid and confronting with the lion guru. So there is a debate planned in Calcutta. A nice debate was planned in Calcutta. So it was their Mayavadi philosophers invited Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So initially they put the condition that you are not going to talk anything from the Bhagavatam. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told, yes, I am not going to speak anything from the Bhagavatam, but we have a debate. Then after some time they called, okay, you cannot talk anything from Mahabharata or Ramayana. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur again told, yes, I want to speak anything from those two. Then he told, okay, you cannot also talk anything from other Upanishads and Puranas. Again, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, yes, I won't speak. And they told that you can only talk from Vedanta Sutra, which is their subject. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also told, yes, I will talk only from that. Let's have the debate. When Maharaj Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur confidence they saw, they were so scared. They told, sorry, you don't have to come. We are not going to have the debate. So everywhere we're having some kind of fear to have a debate with him. So there are few. There is a nice quote from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I really like this one. He says that the only duty of the most merciful person is to transform the degraded taste of people. If you can save even one person from the great force of Mahamaya, then that will be a greater act of philanthropy than opening millions of hospitals. So, from looking from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we can understand that how to become free from illusion, fear, and distress. And we should all wholeheartedly beg for his mercy without any deceit, so that our spiritual master bestows all the auspicious upon us, so that we will be not entangled with all these five anarthas or the abhidhyas. And we should always understand what is our constitution position and why we are here, so that our transition from this material world to the spiritual world will be smooth. So with this, I would like to conclude today's discussion. Thank you very much for joining today. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you very much, Mataji, for the wonderful class. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. A very auspicious day today. Disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, fasting till noon. And yeah, we like to offer our prayers to Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Ugra Veera Mahavishnu Janantam Sarvatomukam Nrsimham Bhisham. Oh, sorry. Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Praladesha, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma, Jaya Padma Mukha Padma. Ugra Veera Mahavishnu Janantam Sarvatomukam Nrsimham Bhisham Bhadram Nityam Namiyam. Let us offer our humble obeisances at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha Vaishnavi Daki Jai, Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you.